Hey guys, King of Charmanders here. I bring to you a series called the What If This Pokemon Had This Move. It can either be one or multiple moves. However, one of the reasons why Pokemon Go PvP is so limited is because so many Pokemon have really bad movesets. So since this has never been done before, as far as like being on YouTube, etc., I thought why not put a video series out there which basically represents Pokemon if they had this move or multiple moves, how powerful and how dominant that Pokemon would be and how much it would affect their potential in any meta. I will be going over each individual mon and going over a matrix of how much this actually flips matchups if you gave the Pokemon this move, or these moves. This video series is designed to help you get a glimpse or get the feel of analyzing putting different or unorthodox movesets on your Pokemon. For example, like Focus Blast on Mewtwo in Season 1 or Flash Cannon on your Hydreigon to take out Togekiss. As you see, these moves have great coverage and might surprise you if you analyze and you use them well. So you can do some really cool things and have coverage against a lot of different meta Pokemon. What if Umbreon had Charm? Hey guys, King of Charmanders here. Alright, so I don't really need to give Umbreon an introduction. You've seen it in Great League, you've seen it in Ultra League thanks to the XL Go Beyond update, and the reason why it's really good is because it's one of the biggest tanks in the entire game. In fact, it's so good just by the sheer fact that it has so much bulk. Because of this bulk, Umbreon can survive so many charge moves and dish out a ton of damage. As you see here, even though it doesn't have a diverse moveset, it doesn't really matter. All it really needs is Last Resort and Snarl, and you have one of the most powerful meta Pokemon that has been prevalent since the preseason. And recently brought a revival to Umbreon as far as popularity goes, just because it can now be an XL. So, with Umbreon being so powerful, despite the fact that it doesn't have the greatest, well, it's not the, well, even with a moveset like this, it's still really good. Like, it only has 2 types, and it only has 1, 2, 3, 4, it has 5 attacks. It literally only has 5 attacks, and it's one of the most powerful Pokemon in the game. So what happens if we give Umbreon Charm, the most powerful fairy type move in, well, actually, it's the only fairy type fast move, but it's one of the most powerful moves overall in the entire game of Pokemon Go. Alright, so if you thought Umbreon was good, well, guess what? It gets even better. It actually has a super diverse moveset in the main series game. If you look, it can learn Hyper Beam, it can learn Hyper Beam, it can learn Body Slam, it can actually learn Psychic, it can even learn Shadow Ball. Where's Shadow Ball? I know it can learn yeah, here's Shadow Ball. So it can learn a whole bunch of different moves. It's really not just how powerful Umbreon is, and if it got one move, which is the one we're giving it, Charm, it would be even better. In fact, if you gave it Charm and it got something like Body Slam, it'd be, but we're only gonna look at one move at a time, okay? Umbreon's OP enough, so we're just gonna look at one move at a time because we don't... I can make, like, Umbreon doesn't need, like, Umbreon's good enough, like, is good. You don't need to give it anything more. We're just gonna, like, if I gave it some, yeah. Yeah. Alright, so as you see here, we got regular Umbreon. As you see in the 2 shield, 77%, which is not really a surprise. It's super bulky, it's super powerful in all positions. Because Umbreon's gigantic bulk and its coverage as a dark type is just really insane. Last Resort's a really good move. As you see here, in all shield scenarios, hold on one sec. Okay, there you go. In the zeros, in all shield scenarios, original Umbreon, like, doesn't go below 75%. It's that good. It beats so much of the meta, and it's really powerful, which is why it isn't a surprise that Ultra League XL Umbreon is so strong. Now, if we go to the Charm variation, as you see here, it's actually not that bad compared to the Snarl version, but there's one specific reason why it's really crazy. So here's the 2 shield. As you see the 1 shield, it's actually like a little, not too much less than the Snarl version, but if you look here, it's not that bad. Now, here's why. You know, Charm 2 shield strats are really powerful, right? In fact, that's a very common strategy with Charmers. If you give them 2 shields and save shields either in the back, or if you just run through the shields in the lead, you can probably run through their entire lineup. So here's what happens when I type in fighting. So I type in fighting type, so all the fighting types in the 2 shield in Great League. No fighting type in Great League can beat Charm Umbreon with 2 shields. Alright, as I always say, please consider donating to pboke.com. As you see here, here's Umbreon with Charm and Snarl, and then you hit the 2 shield. As you see here, Umbreon is okay, so this is the crazy part. Umbreon can actually run through Azumarill in the 2 shield. It can also run through Cresselia. It can also run through, not Cresselia, Snarl version beats that. Well, the thing is, I guess if you do have, like, it won't be other Charmers and other things that basically Umbreon has weak to. So basically, Fairy can still take out Umbreon, as you see here. However, being able to beat every fighter is pretty dang good. You're also able to 2 shield your way through Galvantula, Shadow Champ, which regular one can't beat, Medicham, well, all fighters, including the pseudo fighters, like Obstagoon, except for Deoxys defense. I think DD is so thick it can punch its way through you, as you see here. So Deoxys defense is probably the only fighter that can punch through your shields. However, you can still beat things like, other dark types like Shiftry, you'll melt Shiftry like no tomorrow. You can also beat, of course, you're going to beat other Umbreons as well as Xylus. So Charm is very, very powerful. You beat all the fighting types, you beat all the dragons, and it's just really strong. However, there are a little bit of trade-offs. For example, you lose the ability against psychic types, but I think being able to cover fighting types in general with Charm is just nuts. And you're still able to 2 shield strat your way through several things like a Galvantula. As you see here, in the 1 shield, you still beat Umbreon. You still beat Chestnut. I think you still beat every other fighter as well, except for Deoxys defense, again, just because counter can punch its way through victory or can just bully its way through your Charm. You still beat a slew of other picks, though, which is just nuts. You're, like, essentially, if you had Umbreon in the back with Charm, you would melt. It's the funny part is, unless they're actually carrying Charm too, you would actually core break the double Dark team in the back, which is just nuts, because you're using a Dark Charmer, you know what I mean? It's really interesting. But you can still beat other dragons like Xylus, and you can still beat Altar in the 1 shield. As you see here, you'll beat dragons, you can still, the fact that you can beat Azu, though, is just nuts. In the zeros is Umbreon's best position. As you see in the zeros, you can beat Dugong. You can also beat Galvantula, Shadow Champ, Medicham. So all the fighters you still beat in the zeros, even if you're down shields. You could even beat regular Stunfisk or Unova Stunfisk in the zeros. But you can't beat G-Fist, but you can beat Unova Stunfisk. Now you're gonna lose against Talonflame just because it's a fire type, because fire does resist Charm. Fire resists Fairy. As you see here, you're still going to beat other Umbreons and Xylus. So it's still really good. But again, like the sheer fact that Umbreon Charm can just 2 shield its way or just beat fighters, it would be really interesting if they did allow Umbreon to get Charm. Because it does learn in the main series game, but just Charm itself would make Umbreon very, very interesting. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's really nuts how some Pokemon like Umbreon can learn Charm, and arguably they're really good if they got it, even though they don't get stabbed. So because Umbreon's a dark type, it won't get the same type attack bonus like other Charmers do because they're fairy types. But as you see here, Umbreon is so bulky that it could literally just bully its way through so many matchups with Charm, which is just absolutely nuts. Charm 2 shield strat has been super oppressive for like the longest time, so unless Charm gets nerfed in the near future, you can still expect to see Charmers everywhere, whether it be tournaments and even in Go Battle League. Sadly, I think it's due for a nerf, just like other tap. In my opinion, if you're gonna make Go Battle League competitive, it shouldn't be a tap-tap strat. Yes, yeah, it should not be a tap-tap strat. Like, it should have strategy, because as you see here, you can't give Charm to things like Umbreon, because if you do, it can, but like, Umbreon covers one weakness, which is fighting. And the only thing Umbreon would literally be weak to if it had Charm would probably be fairy types, because other Charmers, basically. So Umbreon is just that powerful. Again, if you guys have an idea for a Pokemon with a really cool move, or if you'd like to see something and I can make a video out of it, please put it in the comments. These have been really fun to do, so I really enjoy making these videos, and just seeing how crazy things like Umbreon with Charm would be really good in Go Battle League if they got more movesets like you could do in the main series game. If you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe. Good luck on your Go Valley sets, and I will see you guys on the next video.